Good morning. It's Bhikkhuni Vimala, and it's Friday morning, May the 8th. It's beautiful and sunny. I'm dividing days up mostly in my head by the rainy day or the sunny day or the cold and sunny day. The day of the week gets lost sometimes. I just earlier this morning, I love listening to the Chicago public radio station, and especially for their news coverage. And they have a BBC News in the morning. And today, I didn't realize, I know yesterday was Vesak Day, the full moon day in June. And the 16th is when Blue Lotus, I said the 14th yesterday, the 16th is when Blue Lotus ordinarily would have celebrated that at our temple this year. So yesterday, and it's still a full moon today, I think, so enjoy the full moon and have your own, as we talked about yesterday, do your own internal celebration with the people you're at home with, and for yourself personally. We can celebrate it for ourselves, and we're celebrating the birth and the enlightenment and the final enlightenment at his death. So we can roll all of our big holidays pretty much into one. But today is the 75th anniversary of VE Day after World War II, the surrender of the Germans in Victory in Europe Day. And the BBC had a beautiful short tribute to that, and it was very moving. And they read a letter of someone describing to her husband who was overseas what it was like in England and how people were. Winston Churchill spoke and the King spoke, and it was such a beautiful time. And for years, of course, in Europe, they were still rationing, they were rebuilding, and England had been badly bombed, and all the European countries had been affected. And it was the end of the war, the official end of the war in Europe. That took a little bit longer other places to reach that final end of the battling day, as we know. But I really immediately was thinking about, think of how many years Europe was struggling and living through a war. And such a terrible war, just trying to, entire populations of people being wiped out. And I thought about this COVID quarantine that we're under, and how hard it is for people to to make it through 6 weeks of trying to maintain social distancing and wearing masks. And we know when we listen to the health authorities, we're going to have to be moving into our new future slowly and gradually, and so many things will be changing. So I think it would be really inspiring to listen to that feeling from people who had been living with the threat of bombs every night, in some areas all day long, losing their loved ones every day, hearing about losses, hearing about the atrocities of the war as they were uncovered over the years, and economies being shattered. And I think it's always good to put things in perspective, is to look at history and see what we're capable of going through and coming out of it stronger and better. And so let's let this be this 75th anniversary for VE Day. Let it be a reminder to us that we can get through everything. We can get through this, and this virus is not. This is not something to sneeze at. That's not the right image to use. This virus that we're experiencing is putting us into a lot of economic pain, and people are having so much difficulty dealing with it. I think it's a time for us to have compassion for ourselves and for others, and be more accepting of different people's ways of responding to the restrictions they feel and the fear they feel. And for our own, I read Michael Franzak's beautiful Facebook story about a group he was working with in Sri Lanka recently, and the beauty and the dignity he saw from people who have experienced a lot of poverty and isolation and being an outcast of their own society in some ways. So that would be good if you can read that. It's a beautiful little piece. But he makes a statement in that too about we have to have compassion for ourselves when we judge other people and think, well, their response isn't the way we should be responding. So I know that that's always something we can work with in our practice. And we do it the same way that we send loving kindness to ourselves and then radiate it out. We can send compassion to ourselves and understand that how we are is not the way everybody else is, and that we have our own fears about this. We have our own pain. We have our own issues we're dealing with, and we can have compassion on ourselves, and then we can send that out to others and work with our difficult people that way. We need to all kind of step back and breathe, which is what we're doing here every day, and see that our brothers and sisters, that our planet, all over this planet, people are going through difficult times. When we go through difficult times, we often become difficult people, challenging people. It's hard for us to deal with things and to work through our pain. There are layers to it. And I think we're beginning to see and look at and think about all the layers to this, the rippling effects that are happening very quickly in our society. And family, people with children, people living alone, people who are more hermit-like in nature, and people who are more people-oriented in nature in their regular pre-COVID days. We're all reacting differently, and we need to take that into account. So be careful about not beginning to judge people in the different ways they're handling things. But at the same time, keep your own boundaries and do what you think is right for you, and don't let your fear of other people's decisions cause you to become fearful. We can take care of ourselves because we know what we need, and we know we can find the right people to get our information from and to move forward. So let's work with compassion towards our own fears and our own worries and our own anxieties. And then let's send out the same compassion for others. We have to keep doing that all the time. And also find some things to be joyful about and laugh about and have humor about, and find the beauty in every day and every minute. And then we'll be fine. We'll move through this slowly and calmly. And we'll look back and think, maybe we'll find all the proud moments of the way we handled things and decisions that were made that we think, there'll be a lot of history written about this period. So right now we're experiencing it. So we need to live in the moment and be able to live beautifully through this experience. There will be grief, and there will be pain, and there will be suffering, and we need to understand that that's this changing world. That's the nature of this world. So enjoy VE Day today and listen to some really heart-stirring memories and speeches and the beautiful things from the ending of the war. And I think that will inspire you. It certainly rang true for me. And beautiful listening to some of the memories people have and how they were able to take that break and have a period of joy. And then they had to go into the whole recovery for all of Europe, which was devastated in a way that none of us living in America have experienced in this country. And how that they needed that break. They needed that inspiration to get on with the next stage. And I'm sure it was a life-giving break for so many people. So let's do a short sit today. It's Friday. I'll see you again on Sunday, but let's do a short sit. So gently close your eyes. Or if you're looking out over scenery that is calming for you, you can let your gaze be out, but let it be downward so you don't get distracted with too much going on. Oh, let your body have that beautiful, straight posture, whether you're on the floor or walking or sitting. Let your body feel aligned. If we haven't been getting the exercise we need, we'll feel it because our back will feel a little resistant, but it will feel wonderful when we feel it being straight and upright and aligned. Breathe in and out through your nose. Just be aware of your breathing in the spot that you can feel it best, either your belly rising and falling. Inhale and your belly expands, and exhale, feel it contract. Or be aware of the sensations just around your nostrils. You can feel the air, the cool air, as if it's cool like it is here. You can feel cool air as you breathe in. And it's immediately warmer when you exhale. Very subtle sensations through your nostrils. Breathe in as you inhale that compassion for yourself. And as you breathe out compassion for all other living beings. Let go of all of the viewpoints you hold. I know that's an impossible task at this moment, I'm sure. But that's one of the things the Buddha asked us to do. Let go of viewpoints. Let go of clinging to things that we believe in. It's letting go of the clinging. Let everything let everything go. No need to cling to things. If by our experience we see things that are true, we even hold those lightly. We are changing all the time, right along with the world. So we need to hold everything we know more lightly. And as we develop the qualities like goodwill and loving kindness and compassion and feeling joy for others and for equanimity, that balance, that middle path, that middle way, those are the qualities all of us can develop. Now gradually open your eyes. Thinking of your loved ones and everyone else in this world. May everything we do and think be done for the benefit, not only for ourselves, but for all living beings. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful VE Day, and I hope you find joy in the simplest things or in the big events that are in your own life. Thank you. Bye-bye for today. See you Sunday.